Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today into something, well, pretty massive. Wisdom in the age of information. Kind of a head spinner, right?
It is. I mean, think about it. We've got more information at our fingertips than ever before. Articles, studies, data, you name it. But are we actually wiser?
That's the million-dollar question. And it seems like everyone's got a different take. We've been digging through a ton of research, opinions, all sorts of stuff. And it feels like a paradox. Like, shouldn't more information automatically mean more wisdom?
Well, that's what you'd think, right? But a lot of what we've been reading suggests the opposite, almost like there's this inverse relationship or something.
Yeah, I see that. One article even brought up Socrates. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing.
Oh, yeah, classic Socrates. But it's so relevant, don't you think? Especially now. I mean, think about it with AI getting more powerful every day, able to answer almost any question. It's almost like we're being tricked into thinking we actually do know everything.
It's definitely tempting. Why bother learning anything when you can just ask Siri or Alexa? But there's got to be more to it than that, right?
Right. And that's where things get really interesting. We came across this fascinating study published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology. They found that people actually learn better when they have to work harder to retrieve information.
Hold on, really. So you're telling me that if I struggle to remember something, it actually helps me learn it better in the long run?
Exactly. The study found that participants who had to really think hard to recall information showed much better long-term understanding and memory compared to those who could just, Google it instantly.
Hmm. That makes you think. So it's not just about having the answers readily available. It's the actual process of searching, of figuring things out that really makes the difference.
Absolutely. It's like if you just ask your smart speaker what the capital of France is, you might remember it for a few minutes, tops. But if you spend time looking at a map, maybe reading about the history of Paris, well, you're way more likely to actually retain that knowledge.
That makes total sense. Reminds me of when I was trying to learn Spanish with those language apps. I could ace those vocabulary quizzes, but ask me to hold a simple conversation. Forget about it.
Exactly. It's like you were saying earlier, there's this risk that AI could make us feel all-knowing, when in reality, we're just scratching the surface. And that brings up another point some of these sources were making. The whole idea of AI leading to a more superficial understanding of the world.
Oh, absolutely. Like, think about those AI language models. The ones that can write those crazy, realistic essays and poems. Pretty impressive, right?
Totally. But they're not actually understanding the nuances of language
Hmm.
or the concepts they're playing around with. They're just really good at mimicking patterns, basically spitting out what they've been trained on.
So basically, relying on these tools without, actually building up our own critical thinking skills could actually lead us in the wrong direction.
Precisely. That's why true wisdom goes beyond just having information. It's being able to analyze it, to question everything, to connect all the dots and see the bigger picture.
It's about understanding the why behind the what, which I guess brings us back to that idea of continuous learning. I think almost every source we looked at highlighted that as a key part of cultivating wisdom.
For sure. It's not like you reach a certain level and boom, you're wise. It's a constant journey, always asking questions, challenging your own biases, and refining what you know.
Always more to learn, right?
Mm,
And even when you think you've got something figured out, there are always new perspectives to consider.
100%. So I guess what we're saying is in this crazy world overflowing with information, the real key isn't hoarding knowledge, but having that, I don't know, that hunger to learn and grow.
That's a pretty powerful takeaway, don't you think?
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, how are you cultivating genuine curiosity and humility in your life? What are you doing to go beyond just consuming information and actually deepening your understanding and wisdom?
Big questions to think about.
For sure. All right, everyone, that's our deep dive for today. Lots to chew on, so go out there, stay curious, and keep those brains firing.
See you next time.